Do 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 do
Do,
do
do,
do.
do, 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 do. I'm so glad you brought that in first. That's what's been going on in my head
I
since the
know.
Yankees just beat the
New
Guardians.
York. Just baseball show for Tuesday, October 15th. By the way, it's a podcast. Jack Peter, we're going to talk about the Mets evening up the National League Championship Series at a game of peace against a Dodger bullpen game. And then New York, taking on Joey Cantillo and Pedro Avila and just calling it a day. Again, Jack and Peter on today's show. It's Tuesday the 15th, and it's brought to you by
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, and we got something new for the postseason. BetMGM sportsbook account holders who opt into the bullpen jackpot promotion and place a straight bet of at least $10 on their choice of any MLB player to hit a home run will win a share of a daily $50,000 BetMGM bullpen jackpot if the player they wagered on hits a home run that lands in an MLB team bullpen. Prizing will be paid out in bonus bets that expire in 7 days. The offer will be available every day throughout the postseason, and customers will need to place a $10 or more wager on any MLB player to hit a home run. If the player hits a home run that lands in an MLB team bullpen on that day, they will win a share of $50,000 daily prize. Make sure to use code JUSTBASEBALL for that first bet offer up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your wager loses to get started. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. Aram freaking Layton.
Let me
Aram
set the
freaking
scene.
Layton.
Let me set the scene. He's not sitting here right now, but
Get him out
we will.
here.
I know. I know. Let me set the stand. Let me set the scene. Chili's, Peoria, Arizona.
Okay, you're about to like make fun of that. Be like, oh, we were at Chili's.
No, it's
Chili's, I
sick.
feel like it's a good breeding ground for winning bets. It just
Who
feels like a good spot. You get a
who do you
quesadilla
think
burger.
recommended Chili's?
Have you ever had a quesadilla burger at Chili's? I'm pretty sure
No,
that's
but
Chili's.
I did the chicken crispers and they were amazing. I did the smokehouse combo.
Sounds dank.
Chili's is
I
awesome.
love Chili's.
Let me just say, by the way, I sent my girlfriend and I passed at Chili's on like a road trip a couple weeks ago. And I said, how opposed would you be to like if I, one night in December or January just hit you with a we're going to Chili's? She'd be like, I'd be fired up. I love that. I'm like, I agree. So Chili's, Peoria, Arizona. We're sitting there. We're talking about it. Aram had put down the Soto homer because he saw how good he was against Alex Cobb. And he turned to me and said, like, dude, it's so unlikely when you think about it. Like, there's just so much other surface area that you can, you can go foul line hunting, you can go dead center, all that. And the next swing, Soto makes contact that he slaps me on the shoulder. And Aram is not one for like the physical contact, like slapping like high fives and shit like that. And we were floored when it found the bullpen. But hey, Aram Layton might be a thousandaire. We'll see who got into this. It's a share of $50,000 in bonus bets.
An absolute no-brainer to take advantage. Just a couple sprinkles here and there, you can get a share of 50K in bonus bets, and I've been making bets all year. I have even a couple of home run picks that I nailed. None of them went into the bullpen. Arm goes first try into the bullpen. Beautiful.
Yeah, craziness. Absolute craziness. But that was a shot from Soto. Stanton did it later too. So I have no idea how that whole thing works. Is it now different pools of $50,000 in bonus bets? I think that's the case.
Yes, so every single home run that goes into the bullpen. So Giancarlo Stanton, if you bet on him, you now get a share of 50K between everybody else who bet on Giancarlo Stanton.
Wow.
So, for example, Zach McKinstry, Tigers Guardians hit one into the bullpen. Only one person bet that. So they got the
They got
entire
50
share
G's.
of 50K in bonus bets. But let's say 50,000 people bet on Juan Soto, right? It's you're not going to get as many bonus
You're
bets.
getting a
So
dollar. You're getting a
exactly.
dollar in
So
bonus bets.
it's all about attacking guys who just pick your favorite. If he hits it into the bullpen, it's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the fact that it happened within 5 seconds of us talking about how unlikely it was for this guy to do it, especially when like the splits make perfect sense. It
Yeah.
was that was poetry in motion at the Chili's. And I know that the classic line is I felt God in that Chili's. God might have been present in the Chili's.
There's a reason people say that. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
there's a
Chili's is the
reason people
perfect
say it.
spot to cook up bets. We're not even sponsored by Chili's, but shout out Chili's.
I shout out Chili's. We are out here at the Arizona Fall League, which, by the way, has been phenomenal. We've met a couple of great listeners to the show as well, and seen some good baseball out here. It's nice because I have my iPad out in the stands with me, and I just pull up YouTube TV, and I've got the postseason game. Like that was a 1:30 Pacific first pitch in the
Yeah.
NLCS, and I just had that on my lap while watching the Fall League, and I was like, "Wow, I think I've achieved baseball nirvana." So big week to be Jack McMullen, I'd say.
Let's recap Dodgers versus Mets, the
I'm in.
early game. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's get after it. So it starts early, top of the first. Francisco Lindor homers to right field on the eighth pitch of the at bat. Great AB results in a homer. Then we go to the top of the second. The Mets ain't done. Starling Marte singles in his first AB. Jesse Winker then follows that up with a walk. Jose Iglesias pop up. And then Tyrone Taylor takes a hanging breaking ball from Landon Knack and smacks it down the line to give the Mets a 2-0 lead. Then Francisco Alvarez popped up, and then the Dodgers intentionally walk Lindor to load the bases. And then Mark Vientos steps to the plate. Grand slam to right center field on the ninth pitch of the AB after he was down 1-2 in the count, laid off bad pitches, waited for one, and smacked a fastball down the middle out of here. The score is now 6-0 Mets after 2 innings. Before we continue to move on, Jack, off day tomorrow for both teams.
Yeah.
Why did the Dodgers go to Knack this early and for bulk innings when every reliever had tons of rest? I didn't
Okay.
understand it.
So you and I view that differently. I thought Knack should have opened.
Okay.
I thought I was like, why wouldn't you just go with Knack in the first and then go again with Knack in the second if it worked? And if it worked for two, why not open the third with Knack as well? Just to save some bullets from your bullpen. But we also we were talking about this last night. Like you essentially hit a work day for a guy like Evan Phillips who threw 10 pitches and then had back-to-back days off. Like it's
Mhm.
time for him to get the game again. So that was set up really, really well for the LA Dodgers until Francisco Lindor led off the game with a home run. And by the way, I know they were an inning away. I think they were an out away from setting the postseason record for most consecutive shutout innings, like
Yeah.
33 and a third, right?
We
Like
made
that
we
would have been the
made
record.
we made that graphic 34 consecutive scoreless innings,
Yeah.
and we were going to post it after one scoreless inning from Ryan Brazier, but Francisco Lindor said, "Fuck your record."
You're right. That is the way to utilize the graphics graveyard though, because our graphics people, and I know so many talented graphics people out there in the industry have so much heat that they do not get to
Yep.
put out because it's always a contingency plan. Always a contingency plan because you're in the sake of timeliness and you're gonna, it's like the t-shirts for the team that loses the Super Bowl, right? Like those might be a sick t-shirt. We have so many sick graphics. So I love what we did there with like the highlighter red, just like X through it. It's like, nope, not anymore. Frankie Lindor.
So you would have
I would
gone
have
with
opened
Knack.
with Knack.
It's interesting. I don't know why. I wish they operated it similarly to that game against the Padres, but
Yeah, well, and Knack was it felt like Knack was only coming in that game when they were up by 8. I'm with you. Like if they were gonna open with Brazier, I'm totally with you. Like they should just hold Knack. I think Knack would have been good as a short leash starter. But for him to be the first guy out of the pen, I thought was kind of weird.
yeah, really, really weird. But all right, we'll keep moving. Bottom five. This is where the Dodgers scored their first run. Max Muncy started the scoring for the Dodgers with a home run to right field, but it's still 6-1 Mets. Also, did you see Brent Honeywell found a snake in the Dodgers dugout?
Yeah, which is crazy. And then he threw the first screwball ever tracked in the postseason since pitch tracking began in 2008.
My Dodger fans or my Dodger friends were texting me. They're fans of the Dodgers, of course, and they're saying that the Mets planted it there in order to poison the Dodgers.
Sure,
That's where they
sure.
were at this point of the
No,
game.
it was
About six to
Grimace. It
one.
was Grimace that
It was
planted
great.
it.
When we get to the bottom of the six, Dodgers make it a little interesting. Start the inning with a Mookie walk, then Teoscar walks, then Freddie Freeman 100-mile-an-hour ground out to Iglesias, but it wasn't really a ground out because it ate him up. And now the bases are loaded. Now Sean Manaea exited after that. Phil Maton enters, and Will Smith pops up on the first at bat. But then Edman grounds one to first, scoots by Pete Alonso. You see Freddie Freeman, just a million IQ type play just to kind of deke it, get in Pete
Yeah.
Alonso's way in order for that to sneak through. Because I don't think without Freddie getting in the way that gets through, run scores. It's now 6-3 Mets. Muncy walks. Now it's bases loaded with one out. Kike Hernandez comes to the plate. Arguably the clutchest player on the Dodgers, one of the clutchest players in postseason history. Ground out, double play, Dodgers challenge. It's confirmed. Mets out of the inning. Sean Manaea's final line: 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 7 Ks. I thought he was fantastic. Also, shout out Brent Honeywell for 3 shutout innings in relief. You talked about the screwball. I thought he was awesome, and
Yeah,
he
go Indy
definitely
Indians.
definitely earned some more innings this playoffs. And we get to the
So,
top. Oh no, go ahead.
real quick thing on Brent Honeywell, was with Indianapolis for the front half of the year and got his own like closer entrance. Saw we did the LED lights for homers and was like, wait, I kind of want that when I come out. And he asked the front office and they were like, yeah. So he got a closer light show entrance when he would come into games in AAA. And now he's throwing shutout outings for the LA Dodgers in the postseason.
He earned it. Top of the ninth. Brandon Nimmo strikes out, but Pete Alonso walks to get a runner on. And the Dodgers basically let him steal second. And then Starling Marte rips a single to center field to score him 7-3 Mets. Now, bottom nine, Andy Pajes singled to center and Shohei Ohtani walked. And I was thinking to myself, is this a Diaz blow up? Nope. Settles down, strikes out Mookie swinging, strikes out Teoscar Hernandez swinging, then strikes out Freddie Freeman swinging. Mets win 7-3. Mark Vientos 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Starling Marte 3 for 5 with an RBI. The Dodgers front five: Otani, Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith combined to go 0 for 19 with 9 strikeouts. The Dodgers went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, leaving 10 on base. Incredible performance by the Mets pitching staff to hold these guys, right? It's not easy to do that. Dodgers didn't come into this game cold offensively by any stretch of the imagination. Mets bullpen held it down. Manaea was excellent. Excellent ABs by the Mets all day long. I feel like none of them had a bad AB all game after losing 9-0, coming back, stamping a win like that. The Mets just keep putting up incredible performances back to back to back.
Yeah.
Great job,
Grimace,
Grimace.
I thought Lindor getting that one right away against Brazier was the tone setter that they needed. Because if the Dodgers did secure that record, that 34 consecutive scoreless against them, I felt like this could have gotten out of hand really quickly
Mhm.
because then the Dodgers would be operating at the advantage where they go to like Phillips in the third inning and then they go to, a Kopech and they go to a Trinan at the right time. No Vesia in this bullpen. I don't know how badly they're going to miss him, but I feel like there's going to be a situation at some point in this 5, 6, 7 game series, however many it goes, where you say, man, if only Vesia was here. If only they had a lefty that was ripping like rocket ship fastballs.
It's the
I
thing. I'm glad you even brought up the left-handed portion because Anthony Bonda is the only lefty in this bullpen now.
Yeah, like that Vesia omission might really sting, and I hope he's all right. If they do get to the World Series, I hope he can throw the Fall Classic. But man, that is a big omission. But I thought Lindor was the massive tone setter, and Vientos doing it, and obviously post game when he said he took it personally when they intentionally walked Lindor to get to him was phenomenal, and that's theater, and that should incentivize the Dodgers when they get to New York, and they should look at him as a star because that is exactly what Mark Vientos has become in this postseason. He is now a star hitter for the New York Mets, and I mean you have to treat him like that probably going into next year. Like it's an awesome month, I get it, but you go into next year saying this guy we are circling. If there are three that we have to circle in this lineup, I think Vientos is in that grouping now.
Absolutely. I mean, Lindor should get a ton of credit. He's been the MVP all season long, but the best hitter in the playoffs for the Mets has been Mark Vientos. My last thing that I more wanted to check with you on, because again, you
I
know,
appreciate you doing that.
yeah, um, I was a little disappointed with Dave Roberts today. I thought it was his low light of the postseason. It wasn't as bad as a lot of Dodger fans are making it out to be on social media, but I can sympathize with them just because I did think that the Landon Knack decision was weird, and it did feel like after Tyrone Taylor hit that double off Knack, there was no, like, sense of urgency, like, "Oh, we gotta get somebody else up." Clearly doesn't have it right. I think as soon as he stepped in, we kinda all saw that. There was no meeting at the mound either, and then things just unravel, and then you have the grand slam, and then it felt like Roberts just kinda punted the game, right? He kept saying, "I just wanna keep it close. I just wanna keep it close." 0 high leverage guys were used after that. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he has to start using high leverage guys in those situations when you're down, but it just felt like I didn't understand leaving Knack out there to just kinda get crushed a little bit. That's how it
Now,
felt to me.
yeah, so counterpoint, it was one swing that did 80% of the earned run damage to him.
I know, but when you were watching him, like, I feel like we all saw that he didn't have it that day, and
For
they just
sure,
kept him
for
in
sure.
without any mound visits for a young guy like that.
Yeah, but you're already trailing. You're so early in the ball game. There should have been a Mark Pryor visit. There absolutely should have been a Mark Pryor meeting at some point there. But Knack being on the hill at that time, I didn't think was egregious. And the bullpen usage after the grand slam is kind of a moot point to me because you were already down by a lot. And Mania, you're right, looked phenomenal. And I think that the final line on him is a tad bit misleading. Like the 4 walks, okay, I get that that's on Sean Mania, but the fact that he was getting offensive production and then shutdown, and then offensive production and then shutdown, I thought was huge from him. And it's clearly just so weird and so uncomfortable for everybody right now in the postseason. And Ara made the point, like, how is he not front line at this point? Like he is throwing like a front line guy right now, and I agree. And I have no idea if he's going to get paid like one, but he's going to get paid very, very well this offseason by somebody very lucky.
Yeah, that'll be fun to talk about in the offseason, like, what his market is going to look like because
Yeah, like
yeah,
Mania and Flaherty, I think have very similar markets.
yeah,
Very,
and, they're not spring chickens either, right? They got a little age on them.
both about 30, right?
I think Manaea's a little bit older. Isn't he 32?
Sean Mania is 32 years old. Yeah, how old's Jack Flaherty? Jack Flaherty is 29. Okay, yeah, Flaherty's gonna get more money, but
Definitely.
I mean, Mania's gonna get a bag, man. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm with you. Obviously, you and Ryan Finkelstein are gonna go in depth tomorrow on NLCS Game 3. Having said that, series goes to New York. If you had to put like a percentage of where the pendulum was, is the pendulum 60% in favor of the Dodgers right now? Is it 51% in favor of the Mets right now? Where are you putting that pendulum as it stands right now as they both get on a plane and go to New York?
Well, first off, I was dead wrong on my Dodgers money line pick for game 2. I mean,
Oh,
I thought that the Dodgers
you
might
thought they were gonna
sweep
flex.
I
Yeah.
thought they might sweep this series. I thought that was such a dominant win. And then I also thought that this Dodgers bullpen is just so unconscious right now that the Mets were not going to be able to score enough runs to even compete, right? I didn't say that the Dodgers were just going to demolish Sean Mania. I even wrote in my article, I said, I think 3 to 4 runs in this game gets them a win and a run line cover. And I was dead wrong on that. And now it goes back to City Field. So the Mets now have home field advantage, right? It's kind of like a best of 5 series. I think they're not best case scenario. Best case scenario is winning both in LA, but it's all you could have hoped for to get 1-1 in LA. Now you go back to the Mets. I mean, it's hard not to say that it's less than 50-50, and the pendulum might be swinging towards the Mets way right now, especially at home in front of that crowd where they barely lost in September. They ran the table in the postseason so far at home. I know it was only 2 games, but to
Yeah.
beat the Mets like that at home, I think it's swung towards the Mets.
Yeah, you'll get Bueller, Yamamoto, Flaherty against what, Sevy, Quintana,
Maybe
not
Manaea
Sanga.
again.
Not no, it would be Sanga or bullpen day.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, the starting
Miguel.
pitching matchups, when you lay it out like that, it should be the Dodgers, but it's like,
It's totally a vibe series.
yeah, it is. And the Mets just grabbed more momentum, and we see what they do with it. So I
Yeah,
still think that it's swinging towards the Mets.
got you. Well, we'll go to the American League Championship Series here. Game 1 of this one was 5-2 Yanks. Things got going in the bottom of the third when Arm Layton won a portion of $50,000 in bonus bets on BetMGM when Juan Soto ripped a solo homer into the visiting bullpen. Then the Guardians turned to the lefty Joey Cantillo. 4 wild pitches, 2 of which brought in runs to make it a 3-run third inning. The Yanks pushed the advantage to 4 in the fourth with a sac fly from Aaron Judge. Took until the sixth for Cleveland to get Carlos Rodon when Brian Rocchio pumped a solo shot down the left field line. But in the seventh, Giancarlo Stanton popped a 114 and sent a ball 439 feet into the home bullpen to win you lucky people a share of $50,000 in bonus bets from BetMGM. Stephen Kwan had an RBI single in the top of the eighth against Tim Hill, but Luke effing Weaver rode the changeup to a strikeout of Will Brennan and a rollover from Jose Ramirez to quell the threat in the eighth, and he cruised to a scoreless ninth. Final line on Carlos Rodon. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run on the Rocchio homer, no walks, 9 Ks, 25 swings and misses. His 25 whiffs is not only the most in Yankee postseason history since pitch tracking began in 2008, it is tied for the 4th most in a single postseason start in the pitch tracking era. Garrett Cole, the Houston Astro, had 33 whiffs in the 2019 ALDS. Tim Lincecum had 31 in the 2010 NLDS, and Zach Wheeler had 30 last week against the New York Mets. That query was done by Jason Catania of MLB.com. Great thing that I found on Twitter there, but he is locked at 25 with like Verlander from some of his vintage postseason outings and Framber Valdez and some of his vintage postseason outings. This was a put up or shut up outing after the ALDS, and he put up. He avenged everything that he needed to after that egg that he laid in the American League Division Series. This was such a middle finger outing from Carlos Rodon, and I love seeing it.
Jack, thank God.
Thank God. Yeah, I know. I know. You
We needed
probably
it
went
so
into
bad.
this one on pins and needles, man.
Oh, I was like,
You
I
were
felt
worried the
like
KC thing was going to happen again, and you can't get away with that against Cleveland. They went Cobb to Cantillo to Pedro Avila, and the Yankees still only won by 3 runs. Like, they
and
can't have a Rodon blow up here.
and most of our runs were on wild pitches.
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
take it. We'll take it.
40% of the run output came on wild pitches.
40%, 100%. I don't care. It's a W and it's 3 more wins to get there. No, I have like a million takeaways. It's hard to get my brain like focused in on which one, but
Yeah.
we'll start with Rodon. So the last time we recapped Rodon's start, I was smashing the table. I almost shed a tear because Carlos Rodon, when the Yankees signed him, I remember having this long conversation with my dad, talking to him about, oh, Dad, you're going to see this guy. He's coming in. He's pitched with the Giants. He's pitched with the White Sox. He hasn't fully stayed healthy all these years. But when he has, I think he's one of the best lefties in the game. The contract was big for a reason. He's going to come in and be the perfect number 2 behind Garrett Cole. My dad is a little weary, doesn't know much about Carlos Rodon. Then we talk about it on this show. You're trashing it.
I'm
Arms
not
bring it up.
trashing it. I'm not trashing it. I'm offering fair
You have
warning.
to understand, my brain when talking about the Yankees is different than my brain talking about anything
Fair.
else.
You
So
heard
you
me push back
trashed
on the
it.
availability thing,
You
and you said,
said
"Oh my
Rodon
gosh,
was
he
the
hates
worst.
him."
You said Rodon was the worst pitcher alive.
Yeah, him and Pat
Aram
Corbin.
Aram thought he should be DFA'd immediately,
Yeah.
and my feelings are hurt. And I said to myself, this is the guy who's going to prove them wrong. Damn it, I was wrong. He proved you guys right. And then his first postseason start. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's shoving it down their throats, and then it unravels. And I'm thinking, oh God. Oh no, this is gonna be terrible. How are we gonna win a World Series if Rodon isn't any good? And then he gets through this first inning. Not a peep. I even tweet about it. Calm, cool, and collected, not doing anything, just working on his craft. 25 whiffs against the Guardians who don't whiff? Again, the Guardians have destroyed left-handed pitching all year too. right? Against righties, that's where they've struggled a little bit. Against lefties, they've been a top 10 offense all year. So for Rodon to have that type of performance, that much swing and miss against a team that doesn't swing and miss, against a team that has been destroying lefties all season long, to do that in Yankee Stadium in game one, you were wrong. I was right. All of this matriculated into this start. I was right. Rodon, you are the man I thought you were. And I don't want to hear anything else. That's the take I've decided on. It's the correct one. Rodon's back.
I don't know
Don't,
how lefties touch
don't,
him.
don't.
I don't know how lefties touch him.
Me neither.
Righties,
Can't touch him.
I don't. Well, they couldn't really touch him tonight. I
Okay,
just
Bride Roquio got lucky.
I watched that
Crushed that ball.
fastball.
He
I
crushed
watched
that.
that fastball to a righty, and it's like, do you not see that thing the entire time?
No, I
That
wouldn't.
no, that's my thought. Like I think
Oh,
you just see it the entire time.
no. No, you can't see it. It's too fast.
Why?
Too
Because it's
strong.
98. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too
No,
strong.
Ara made a good point. The difference between 95 and 98 for Carlos Rodon is so
It's
drastic.
unbelievably massive. It's like the biggest velocity jump that of importance for
Chapman.
almost any pitcher.
Chapman is the gold standard of
True.
that. If
Yes.
Chapman was 98, Aroldis Chapman was 98, he was getting pieced for 5 runs. But if he
Every
was
time.
101 on the first pitch, you know you're going to be just fine. With
Yes.
Rodon, the difference between 95 and 98 is i- unbelievably drastic. And good thing was he was 97 and 98 today, which was awesome. Uh, they have a closer. He was damaged
He
goods for
deserves a monument at Yankee Stadium.
he
Retire the
was
jersey. What is this?
I don't know. This guy was cast aside by the Cincinnati Reds and the Seattle Mariners because I didn't believe that he was a very good starting pitcher.
Do you want me to
And
quantify
then,
that? Do you want me to
yeah,
quickly
you go ahead and
quantify what you're
quantify
saying?
that. You go ahead and quantify that, but I'll tell you, like, I watched a guy pitch for the Louisville Bats 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't think you're very good. And then he goes to Seattle, and they clearly didn't think he was very good. And then he makes his way over to New York, and we're watching 96 with 21 inches of induced vertical break. And we're watching him spin 2550, 2600 RPM four seam fastballs. And I'm watching maybe the best changeup in Major League Baseball that isn't Devin Williams's. That thing is filthy.
This-
That should come with a warning.
So, Luke Weaver in 2020 with the Diamondbacks went 1-9 for a 6.58 ERA in 52 innings. He gets another try with Arizona and he pitches okay, 4.25 ERA in 65 innings. Then between two different teams, the Diamondbacks and the Royals, 6.56 and 35 innings. Then in 2023, 123 innings, 6.40 ERA. But he did end up on the Yankees at the end of the 2023 season and actually looked pretty good. And then this season, 2.89 ERA in 84 innings. He has a 5-out save. He's got a couple of 4-out saves. He's got a 3-out save. This guy is a weapon. It's not every day that you can call on a guy in any spot, right? Runners on base, 8th inning, and bring him in because he has that starter pedigree. So it's not like he's one of these guys like a Josh Hader who can only do 3 outs, right? There's only a few relievers, even still in the playoffs, who you trust to get a 5-out save, right? It's probably Edwin Diaz, it's Emmanuel Clase,
Yeah.
it's Luke Weaver. Do the Dodgers have a 5-out save guy right now?
I think
Like
if they
Evan
asked
Phillips, Kopech, Treinen, they can.
if
Yeah,
they
they
asked
do.
Kopech to do it, I think
Yeah,
he
they
could do
can.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I am saying is that I'm not used to the Yankees having a 5-out save guy. Ever since Mariano retired, they haven't had really a 5-out save guy, especially not Clay Holmes. But then now you're moving Clay Holmes into the 7th
And
inning
Clay Holmes
role.
looks unreal as a setup guy.
If you are a holds appreciator, Clay
Yeah.
Holmes deserves a jersey on your mantle.
He's the new Kittredge.
Ever since he stepped into this role, talk about a good hold. I mean, there's no harder outs to get than the bottom of the 7th to
I
get you to the
disagree, but
8th.
keep going.
Why
Yeah.
would you disagree? That's a fact. It's harder to get to from the 7th to the 8th and close out the 9th. And Holmes has stepped into this role beautifully. And Weaver, I mean, he comes in and I have the most confidence of anybody on the Yankees that something good's going to happen. And Juan Soto and Aaron Judge are on our team. It's clockwork. I even posted about his nuts on Twitter. They're
Oh, you
gargantuan,
did?
Jack.
He's the new nuts guy?
Has
Oh,
to be.
man.
He could probably throw 100 if they weren't weighing him down.
Okay, so was Ginkle there for the presentation? Was Ginkle there for the what changing of the guard from Ginkle being the nuts guy to Weaver being the nuts guy?
Yeah, I mean, I even forgot about Ginkle because of how large Weaver's testicles are.
Yeah, no, I just don't think that word is okay on the pod.
I think it's okay on the pod, you know. We got a bunch of cool listeners who understand where I'm at. I'm a Yankee fan who's obsessed with,
Yeah,
they'll be
you do
fine.
you,
Yeah,
beast.
they'll be fine. If you got a problem, take it up with our HR department.
Yeah,
I'm the
you
HR
do you,
department.
beast. No, hit the YouTube comments and tell Peter he can't do that again.
Yeah, nobody can tell me shit right now. Yankees up 1-0, and I even have more take. I mean, I have 100.
Yeah, I no, I mean, rapid fire your takeaways and I'll fill in where needed.
Playoff Stanton. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but for him to step up to the plate and hit the ball hard, put up a good AB in the playoffs every single time, and just light up the scoreboard with exit velocity and just destroying baseballs. Again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they have to be
I
insanity.
do. 115 ABs at a 1009 OPS.
He's unconscious.
He has 13 homers in 32 postseason games in his career.
And now watching him during the regular season, I mean, I think I said it before the playoffs started that I don't think playoff Stanton's going to arrive. Like this version of Stanton cannot move. He did not look like the same guy at the plate. Even, I know he goes through ups and downs, but it didn't feel good for me this year. And he completely flipped the script. I'm not surprised Luke Weaver is having this incredible postseason because he really has just been phenomenal all season long. I am surprised that Stanton is this good again. I mean, I shouldn't be because he does it every single time there's a big moment, but he just rises to the occasion. And when we need him, the Yankees offense does not look good right now. Soto got us the home run. Glaber's putting up good ABs, but the bottom of the lineup hasn't done anything. And Stanton just filling in that fifth hole. And you can I mean, all Yankee fans want him to move up to the 4 hole and get Wells out, but the Aaron Boone's obsessed with the righty lefty thing. And I get it, and Wells has been good all year. So I understand not wanting to move him after such a small sample, but you got to just move Stanton up and get him as many at bats as possible because I mean, he's a terrorizer. I mean, he he's my favorite person to watch hit a home run in the league ever.
It's just so
It's such an
aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, it is.
such an
It's
aesthetically
the
pleasing home
homer
run.
to watch. I think Judge has a homer to watch. There are a couple of guys that fall into that bucket, but I think as weird as it sounds, I think Matt Olson is up there in the pantheon of homers to watch. But
He's got a
Stanton,
beautiful fly ball path.
yeah,
Like when he
yeah,
gets a low ball and golfs it, I mean,
yeah.
that's like
It's like
watching Phil
wow.
Mickelson hit a pitching wedge.
Yeah, you're beautiful. But the one that you could just watch on loop, on loop, on loop is Giancarlo Stanton.
115 at a 22-degree launch angle went 440. He
Yeah,
didn't even hit it that high.
when he gets his hands extended, it's a work of art. You could hang a video of that in a museum.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have as many takeaways as I thought I did. I Those are just the first 3 that
um, my pitching takeaways was the fact that Rodon looked as good as he did. Holmes is as elevated as he is in a lower stress environment, and Weaver is as good as he is in the ninth. This is the perfect storm for Yankee fans to get excited, and the fact that this could go for 2 more weeks and they could secure this thing, like that's the type of pitching night that you watch on a DVD in January.
and it's so funny because you skipped one guy who did pitch for the Yankees, like Tim Hill, just getting kind of thrown in the
Yeah, but
middle of
like
there.
Tim Hill, I'm fast forwarding on the DVD. I'm like, and then Tim Hill came into the game, and I'm gonna go skip, 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 skip,
Thing
skip,
is,
and then I'm gonna get to Luke Weaver.
Tim Hill's been great for the Yankees this year for no reason. In 44 innings, he's pitched to a 2.05 ERA. I was totally fine with him coming in the game right there, and that obstruction call was such a
A
high
a
IQ play by
2.05
Rocchio.
ERA and 3.5 strikeouts per 9.
I don't give a shit. He's doing a job. And no,
You know what? You're right.
it is just so funny that Rodon has such an incredible day. Clay Holmes is Wade Davis reincarnated. Tim Hill. It's kind of like
Well,
that meme with all the army guys in
yeah,
them.
you mean oh, yeah, with the clown? I
But
was
Tim
thinking the
Hill's been great.
dragons, like, the 2 ferocious dragons and then the one with, like, the tongue out.
Yes, but I don't want to disrespect Tim Hill. Tim Hill didn't have the best outing, but also Rizzo's got to catch that grounder. Rizzo's got to
Sure,
catch that grounder. But
sure.
also Rizzo put up good ABs. That's another takeaway.
I
Rizzo looked
s
good. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So, here's a takeaway for you. I didn't think Brian Rocchio being good was anywhere close to anyone's bingo card in the postseason, but here we are, and Brian Rocchio has been playing good ball over the last few games. So,
My favorite tweets during these playoffs sometimes is Guardians fans, just like all of them being like, "I take back every bad thing I said about Rocchio." Like even the biggest Guardian fan, the biggest positivity pages, right? Because they're a very good fan base, very smart fan base,
yeah,
and instead of just wild takes that they throw out there, like they're calculated, and like all of them had negative Rocchio takes, and all of them are taking it back on the timeline,
yeah,
and it's great. Like that's playoff baseball. You never know who's going to get the big hit, and when the Guardians offense, like Josh Naylor, has done absolutely nothing. The Yankees just put him in our back pocket, but Brian Rocchio is supplying the pop for the Guardians, and David Fry. God, I
yeah.
love playoff baseball.
So, I will say, I thought this was a tough night for Stephen Vogt.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a pretty
Okay.
poorly
Wait.
managed game.
It's so funny again. I didn't even notice what Stephen Vogt was managing. I mean, I was just so in my own head about the Yankees that I
Right,
like,
you were all like, "Oh, Yankee plus, Yankee plus, Yankee
yes.
plus," and it's not Guardians minus at any point.
Yeah.
Them turning to Cantillo in a game that, felt pretty darn tight, it was a little bizarre to me that they turned to Cantillo that early in the game and at that deciding of a factor in the game. Good news for them is they didn't use Cade Smith, they didn't use Tim Herron, they didn't use Hunter Gaddis, they didn't use Clase. So
Yeah.
they're all fresh for game 2 to follow Tanner Bybee. Um, what I will say is Cantillo that early is bizarre. I have no clue how they're going to use Gavin Williams. I thought this was the perfect opportunity for Gavin Williams to enter a game.
There's a reason they're not going to Gavin. I don't think he's going to pitch at all. Unless
He's
it's
on the
some crazy
roster.
blow. I don't
He's
know.
on
I
the
mean,
active roster.
this is the game to put him in, though. Like, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I'm not
Why
saying you're
wouldn't you go
wrong.
to Gavin Williams over Joey Cantillo in that moment?
I agree with you. That's
Yeah.
what makes me think he's not going
Yeah.
to get an inning in the playoffs because if he's not in that spot, then what spot is he
And
in?
it's
Down 10-0,
bizarre.
up
And
10-0?
it's bizarre that you leave Lively
Yeah.
off.
Lively too.
Use Gavin Williams.
Yeah.
Ben Lively isn't even on the CS roster,
Yeah.
which is crazy to
Shocking.
me. And then the pinch hitter thing, dude. Like Will Brennan hitting for David Fry when a homer can tie the game.
Yeah. I'm glad
We were
Arm
talking
texted.
about this
Yeah. Arm texted in the group
lefty
chat.
hitter.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Yeah, like lefty hitter against the best changeup going in baseball right now. it- what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
Weaver, in essence, is a reverse splits guy on
Okay.
the hill.
So that explains my Yankee brain. Like I didn't even put vote making a bad managerial choice. All I said was, "Oh, perfect." They put in a lefty thinking that Luke Weaver is worse against lefties. He's dominated lefties all year long.
Exactly. You're just like
517 OPS against
you were
lefties,
laughing at it. I was like,
640
this
against
is
righties.
good for the
Yes,
Yankees. Yeah,
that's what I was
this
doing
is
instead of realizing that Peter, you're supposed to analyze the game on both sides and be not biased. And but I was just like, yes, put in a lefty. I'd way rather have Brennan in here than Fry.
yeah,
Fry can make an impact.
yeah,
Weaver dominates everybody, but against righties, 640 OPS, lefties 517. Sure, put in a worse hitter overall, and he's a lefty. Nice
yeah.
job, vote.
Schneeman and Hedges hitting the ninth.
Yeah, I mean, wild pitches. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm very happy about this Yankees win, but the Guardians kind of handed it to us. I mean, they didn't throw any of their good pitchers. Like, we got a lead, bunch of wild pitches, and then we just coasted to a win because Rodon shoved and the bullpen locked it down. And like that was it.
Yeah,
And the Yankees still haven't played a good game yet, and we keep winning.
I know. I know. I thought this was a pretty darn good game. You know who had a good game overall? I do think is Jazz. I think Jazz played well. Like he made some plays over at third base that I thought. I know you have this thing against Jazz Chisholm right now, but dude, he looks good over at third base, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you got some hits in.
Yeah, but I mean, he
Yeah,
looked
looked
comfy.
really fun.
He looked comfortable, man.
Yeah, he's
Can
got
you
a
at
good
least
arm.
acknowledge that he looked comfortable?
Yeah, he's been good at third. I've said that. I was just and I'm still upset about the
Yeah.
comments that he made and didn't back him up and still hasn't backed him up offensively.
Yeah. Let's preview game 2. Cole Bybee
Mm,
tonight.
mm.
This is going to be pure theater. You wanted a postseason ace off, we're getting a postseason ace off. It stunk that Bybee and Skubal didn't line up at either time last series. The Dodgers, it's really not like you're going to get an ace off in that series. You're not going to get Flaherty, Manaea, and even then, does Flaherty, Manaea feel like the ace off that Cole Bybee does? No, it doesn't. These are the two best starting pitchers left, I do think.
Mm.
And like Yamamoto, if Yamamoto is fully healthy, I would say Yamamoto is there. But I'm taking Bybee over Flaherty.
Dude, I think Manaea's as good as anybody.
You think Manaea is?
He the way did you I know you watched, obviously.
Did you
I'm
watch? Were
saying,
you going to
yeah,
say, did you watch?
obviously. I know, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say,
have an
did
addiction to
you
this
did you end
game.
up did you end up checking out that cool Dodgers
Yeah.
Mets game?
Yeah,
The
I'm
at
married to the
bats
game.
the at bats that Otani had against Manaea had me thinking to myself, all right, Manaea is just the truth. Because he made him look silly, made
Yeah.
Mookie look silly. It didn't matter for righty or lefty. So, no, and with the way Flaherty's pitching right now, like, I get it from just like you look at the like box score or whatever, and Cole Bybee sounds better, and they're both
Yeah.
great, but
Yeah.
Manaea could go toe to toe with
But
any of these
this
guys.
is this is the first ace off that we've gotten in the postseason, is it not?
Yeah, unless I'm for Wheeler versus Quintana. No, I mean Quintana has been pitching like an ace. Or was it Wheeler Sevy? I don't remember. Yeah,
Was it Cole Reagan's? Garrett Cole, Cole Reagan's? Was
yes,
it
I
Reagan's Cole?
yeah, yeah, that must have been it. Yeah.
Actually, Cole, I thought
Yeah,
went
did
game
they pitch against
2.
each other?
Was it Cole
Whatever.
Waka? I don't know, but yeah, I know this is bizarre and it's late. But at the end of the day, this is one of the very first ace offs, if not the only ace off, quote unquote, that we have had at the postseason to this point. And I really hope that it lives up to the billing of ace off. I really think that this is going to be a low scoring game. Cole looked awesome. Bybee handing it off to a rested Cade, Heron, Gaddis, Clase. Feel good about. I feel damn good about the overall pitching dominated game 2 that we are quote unquote promised at this point.
Yeah, I think that I think it's gonna be low scoring on the Guardian side. I mean,
Who are
no,
they
I
going
mean,
to get to? Who are the Yankees going to get to? Bybee?
I think they can get to Bybee a little bit. So Bybee has recorded 20 plate appearances against the Yankees. Obviously, very, very small sample, but they're hitting 353 against him. Volpe, Glaber, Juan Soto, Oswaldo Cabrera, Trent Grisham, Rizzo, they all have hits against Bybee before. I mean, it's a very small sample, but against Garrett Cole for the Guardians, 142 plate appearances against this current Guardians roster. They're only hitting 236. Quality of contact isn't great. There's some strikeout stuff in there. So I think we get a really good Cole start. Thing is not having Weaver probably available in this game. I mean, it's the playoffs. Like he could be available because then there's a day off after, but obviously having a 5-out save is going to be tough. And then Holmes as well. But still got Canely. We still got some arms back there. But now the more I think about it, it's probably going to be close. But I don't want it to be close. So I'm predicting 9-1 Yankees.
I am predicting. Here you go. Predicting 2-0 Yankees.
Mm-hmm. So Garrett Cole vintage.
Yeah, because he was vintage against KC, and I think he can do it again.
I think you can too. You're right. I agree with you. 2-0 sounds good. 20 to
To
0.
Yeah, no, I'm out on that.
Did you like
Your
my
Yankee
ALCS?
fandom is showing.
Did you like my ALCS prediction that I tweeted out? Did you see it?
No, what'd you say?
Yankees in 3. We beat them so viciously that they
That they
forfeit
call it
game
off.
4 and they say,
The
"You guys
commissioner's
got it."
office says
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, you guys got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I will say I don't think that that's going to happen.
What?
but but I I'm not going to say it feels sweepy. It does feel 5 gamey, and I think I have the Yanks in 5.
Yeah,
Right? You have the Yankees in 6.
yeah, that's my
Um,
prediction.
but this could be a deflating game for the Cleveland Guardians. If they are down 0-2 going back and they have to deal with Schmidt and Heel in 3 and 4 when Bybee is already off, like it's going to be what? Boyd and
Boyd looks good though.
yeah, I know, but Boyd went 2 innings in game
Sure,
5. It's going to be
sure.
Boyd and bullpen game.
Yeah, but I mean, the
Eh,
Guardians have the best bullpen. So yeah, but no, my actual I think there's a chance that the Guardians could steal this game. I do. It's hard to take 2-0 from a series this early, and the Guardians can be pesky, and especially when they have that bullpen and
Yeah,
Bybee, right? The Yankees have good numbers in a very small sample, but you never know. It's not like the Yankees are hitting that well right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Guardians steal it. Now, back to putting on my Yankee hat. Yankees win 15 to -1. It's the first
got it.
time a team actually has negative runs in a game.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any merchandise.
Of course
Classic.
you aren't. Don't be like Jack. Go get yourself some Just Baseball merch. I got enough merch on for Jack.
Yeah.
Just Baseball sweatshirt, Just Baseball hat. Go get yours in the episode description code JB15 for 15% off merch. Check out that bullpen jackpot on BetMGM. Make sure to use promo code Just Baseball first. Come on, folks. It's so much fun. You don't have to put much on it, just a little sprinkle on your favorite guys that hit a home run. There's bullpens throughout the series. They're going to keep paying out bonus bets. We're going to keep taking advantage. So make sure you go check that out in the episode description as well. Best way to support this podcast, rate and review 5 stars, whether it be on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, as well as hitting that like button and hitting the big red subscribe button on YouTube. For Jacob Bullen, I am Peter Apple. We'll see you tomorrow. With that, thank you, everybody.